Hello, lovely listener, and welcome to Courageously Kind. Maddie and I are so excited to release this week's episode because we have our first ever guest. How exciting! We are so excited to introduce you to Anna Marie Johnson Teague from A Call to Men and the co-author of the Book of Dares. In this week's episode, we talk all about how to be more kind, bold, and brave, and how to teach our children to do the same. Again, we are so thrilled for you to hear this week's episode and hope you enjoy.
Anna Marie, thank you so much for being here with us today. We are so excited to have you here. To get us started, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and about the incredible work that you do at A Call to Men?
Sure. Thank you so much for the opportunity to do so. My name is Anna Marie Johnson Teague. I'm the Chief Communications Officer for A Call to Men, and I'm also the co-author of the Book of Dares. Beyond that, I'm a wife. I'm a boy mom to 12-year-old son, Jack. I love food. I work out to stay sane. And lately in our house, we've been doing a whole lot of jigsaw puzzles. I've called it my puzzle therapy throughout quarantine.
I love puzzles. I love puzzles.
We turned the dining room into a puzzle room. So it's just official. Yeah. And then at A Call to Men, we educate men and boys all over the world on what we call healthy, respectful manhood. We know that when men and boys embrace and promote a healthy, respectful manhood, that we are going to prevent all forms of gender-based violence and discrimination. So everything from dating violence and sexual harassment to domestic violence and sexual assault, it all falls away, within a construct of healthy manhood. And our work at A Call to Men really centers around this concept of the man box. And that is a term that our CEO coined like 20 years ago to talk about how boys are collectively socialized to view their own manhood and women and girls. And the man box really identifies the limitations on what boys and men are supposed to be. So like they're supposed to be powerful and dominating and fearless and in control and strong and emotionless. And it's these teachings that really limit men and boys, but it also lays the foundation for gender-based violence and discrimination to persist in our world in the way that it does.
Wow, that's amazing. You guys do such amazing work. We specifically love the Book of Dares because of how much we love courage and kindness, and also teaching young kids about those things. We're huge supporters of teaching kids about differences, specifically face equality and facial differences and disabilities and things like that. So we love that you guys have such a great resource for kids.
Thank you. Yeah, we are so excited to write this book. And, obviously it's based on 20 years of work at A Call to Men, but we're getting to kids at such a younger age, and that's such a beautiful thing. So the Book of Dares, it's 100 ways for boys to be kind, bold, and brave. And each of the 100 dares ladder up to promote healthy manhood, authenticity, which to me is courage, right?
Yeah.
And gender equity and inclusion. And over the past couple weeks since the book's come out, we've really been hearing from families that are telling us that young people of all genders are enjoying the dares. So there's a third that are specifically focused on healthy manhood and masculinity, but the rest of it is really great for all of us. In fact, had a mom come to me last night and she's like, I need to be doing most of this stuff.
Yeah.
We find that the dares are really resonating with all kinds of people, and we're so grateful for that. Ted Bunch and I wrote the book together. We're both parents. He's a parent to 6 wonderful children, and I have my son, Jack, and we're both anti-violence educators. And we really saw, and y'all might realize this too. I don't know. Do y'all have brothers?
No, we don't actually. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if you've noticed, but there's so much great content for girls.
Yeah.
That talks about leadership, that talks about, following your dreams. You can be anything you want to be. Very empowering, great content for girls out there in the world. But we noticed a huge gap for boys that talks about anything around, their healthy masculinity and healthy relationships, and helps them develop emotional literacy, which really just means being able to articulate how you're feeling, right?
I love that term.
I'm sad, or I'm happy, or I'm worried, all those things.
Yeah.
And so we wrote the book to really help fill that gap.
I love it. And that's something I wouldn't even realize there was a need for. You know, like you said, there is so much content out there empowering women, but we have to think about empowering our boys too in a healthy way. I love it.
And you know, when Jack started school, you know, when he was kindergarten, 5, 6, 7, at those ages, I feel like when you hit that school age, differences are so often considered weaknesses.
Yeah.
When what we really should be doing is celebrating them. And so the book and the dares in the book, like a third of the dares in the book, are really written to focus on allowing young people to be their full authentic selves and celebrating what makes us unique. And we just feel like that's such a beautiful and empowering thing. And when we talk about authenticity, you know, we just want our kids, we want all young people to be all they were created to be. So like as a mom of Jack, I think about, I want him to be able to love basketball and golf and theater and art.
Yes.
You know, and for that to, let's celebrate all of that, right? Not just the parts that that society says are okay or are important to his boyhood and ultimately his manhood.
Absolutely. Wow, I love that. I love that so much. I had a question for you in terms of, you know, the book is geared toward, you know, young boys. How can, you know, teachers or parents or older siblings or anyone with a kid in their life that might be a little bit shy or might be a little hesitant to be courageous, how can we encourage them to be bold and be brave?
So a couple of different scenarios. I know families who are taking the book and they're reading it together as a family, one dare around the dinner table at night, or, you know, on Sunday at brunch or something, and having all kinds of conversations that they've never had before. And a super cool thing that is happening is that after the kids are done with the meal and they go off to do homework or shower up or whatever, the parents are staying at the table and dads are saying, I've never thought about this in this way. And moms and dads, you know, partners and parents are able to have conversations that they've never had before. So it's really just sparking a whole lot of dialogue, and we really appreciate that. So you can do it together, or we have had parents come to us and say, what do I do if, you know, maybe my kid's not like really into it or whatever? Just leave it on the table, leave it in the bathroom, just leave it somewhere. And eventually that curiosity will be sparked, or maybe even out of boredom, they'll just pick it up. You never know. But we're convinced the book is written in a way that you don't read it from start to finish. Just pick it up, open it up. And do y'all have a copy?
We don't. I have an online copy, but I need to go get a physical one.
I'll send y'all a copy after the podcast for sure. But you can turn to any page and just get started, you know. Dare to write a letter to someone who inspires you, or dare to focus on the good. I particularly like this one, and if you will humor me, I'll read it to you just because I think it's so relatable.
Yeah.
Did you wake up tired and get to breakfast only to find out someone had polished off the last bowl of your favorite cereal? On the way to school, did the bus driver tell you to hurry and you tripped and fell and everybody laughed at you? It's tempting to let a few small frustrations ruin your day. But did somebody in your family offer to get you something else for breakfast? Did somebody ask if you were okay and help you up after you fell? Instead of complaining about all the things that went wrong, dare to focus on the good things that came out of the unfortunate situation. No matter what happens around you, you're in control of how you respond. Don't waste a day because of a few minor setbacks.
I love that. So I need to read this book. You know, I need this.
Well, you will have one sent to you right when we're done.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, God, I just love what you guys are doing. It's so amazing. I had another question. When I was thinking about, you know, feminism is the concept that men and women are equal. And that means that we have to sort of support each other at times. So how can we as women, as mothers, as sisters, as partners, as friends, how can we help support the men in our lives on their journey to healthy manhood?
I think that's such a generous question. And you know, you're already doing it because you're all about the authenticity. And that's really what I think it comes down to. When we tell our boys that they are limited to be certain things, that they can't be themselves, I feel like it almost sets them up to tell everybody else that they can't be themselves either, you know? So there's this ripple effect of oppression, you know? So I feel like, you know, by encouraging each other's authenticity, you know, that's how to best support each other. And we know that healthy manhood is going to create a path to real equity in our world. And that's really why we're doing this.
I love it. I love it. Just that concept of authenticity and sharing that authenticity and having the courage to be authentic yourself, and so that people around you can be authentic too. I just love that.
One of the dares in the book is teach somebody something you're good at. So if you make a killer omelet, again, these are really simple things, but it's about showing somebody, it's vulnerability, right? It's showing somebody something that you feel like you're really good at. If you make a killer grilled cheese, you know, how do you really do that? Maybe you should make a TikTok video about it, because other people in the world might really enjoy your grilled cheese, you know?
Right. I love it. I love it so much. Real quickly, before we sort of wrap some things up, I noticed on your website that you have a lot of great like online webinar, like workshop type things. So what are some things that you guys have coming up?
Well, I wanted to share with you specifically for young people. We just announced our applications for our 2021 cohort for Youth Act. This is a national group of young activists, like ages 15 to 19, I believe, who help promote gender and racial justice. So if you or your friends fall in that age bracket and y'all want to be a part of that, applications are open. We pay a stipend to those who are accepted, so it's nothing that you have to pay for. So that's definitely a great way to potentially get involved. We have free monthly community conversations that anybody can come to. They are on a range of topics. Actually, our February community conversation is going to be led by Youth Act. Not February, we're in February, March. Our March community conversation will be led by Youth Act, and they're going to be talking about a survival guide for young people, just given all that y'all are going through in the world. And I feel like y'all are doing it with such resilience. Oh my gosh, it makes me so hopeful and proud to watch, you know, young people like you and my son and his friends. Y'all see the world in just so much of a better way than my generation did, and it's just so inspiring. So Youth Act will be leading the March community conversation. They'll be talking about a survival guide for young people. We have trainings, we have events. Those can all be found on our website at acalltomen.org, and if you click on trainings and events, it'll all come up.
Wonderful.
That's so awesome.
That is so awesome. I'm definitely going to check them out.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. This was wonderful. And again, we just love what you guys are doing so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And we would love for your listeners to follow us on social. They can find us at A Call to Men and sign up our emails to get notices about those events and all that good stuff. And, you know, just y'all are doing such an amazing job using your influence and platform to do good. And we would encourage your listeners to think about how they can do the same.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Again, we want to extend a huge thank you to Anna Marie Johnson Teague from A Call to Men. You can find more about the incredible work they do at their website, acalltomen.org, and follow them on Instagram at A Call to Men. Be sure to get your copy of the Book of Dares. Honestly, it's so incredible, and it's a great resource for young boys, but also for anyone who is interested in being kinder and more courageous, which is right up our alley. So head over to our Instagram for more and have a wonderful week. We'll see you back here real soon.